Hi guys, welcome to the Bounty Huntard. This week I'm going to be guiding you through possibly the worst thing in the Old Republic so far, the Colicoid war games, or Colicoid, I don't care. It's a Flashpoint's about level 40 to 44. There's only one boss in it, but 3 opportunities to get loot, and it could potentially take you forever. I've got a couple of disclaimers as well to go with this video, whilst we talk to Darth Malgus' head there. There might be a little bit of lag in the footage just because I was having a few network issues before I recorded it, and there was no way I was going to do it again. I'd already done it 2 or 3 times just to learn the tactics for this guide, and it's just an awful Flashpoint really. You can sort of see what they were going for. You'll see what I mean when we start. It's got sort of puzzles and things like that in it. So it's quite different from all the others, but it just hasn't really all worked out in my opinion. It doesn't quite like fit purely because at that level you're pretty much forced to do it with a pickup group, and if one person doesn't know the tactics or one person struggles, then you just spend most of your time explaining it to them. It isn't available at level 50 either, so there's no heroic version of it. So it's the only time you can do it. So I mean, I'd probably go and do it, but just be wary that it's not the funnest instance. There's a lot to irritate you in this, especially if you're not going in with friends or people you play with regularly. But saying all that, let's just get on with the video. So the first theatre of bullshit you'll enter is these turrets, which is essentially a defense mini game. There are 4 turrets, each member has to take 1, and you've got to fight off waves of Colicoid droids. The main thing to think about in this game is just to kill the large white droids first, because as you'll see, they're the ones which fire at you, whereas the other ones are melee units, so they'll walk towards you quite slowly. So if you kill the large white droids first, like that, they don't have a chance to shoot at you, and they're the ones that are going to be doing damage to you instantly. The small ones are never going to really hit you, so you don't have to worry about them too much. You obviously have to kill them, but make sure you kill the large white ones first, otherwise you'll just struggle. They'll still get hits on you occasionally, but there's nothing you can do about that, and if you're doing it right, they'll hit you so irregularly that you'll still have plenty of health left when the fight ends. The other thing to think about is that 3 droids will spawn in front of you, but you also have 2 that spawn in your peripheral vision to your side, usually your right, which you're also responsible for dealing with. If you don't deal with them, then they're just going to kill you straight out really. The problem that a lot of people have with this fight, I think, is that it's quite unintuitive, the actual controls. You don't have to click anything to fire the gun, you just have to point it at them. And if you click anything, in fact, if you left click or press anything other than A and D, because you can also use that to control the direction you're shooting, you're likely to dismount from your gun, and then it's quite difficult to get back on to it because it's quite buggy and there's a delay on it. So really don't press anything except right trigger or A and D, depending on how you want to control your turret. Just point it at them and it will shoot. It shoots quite inconsistently. It doesn't shoot like shot, 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 shot. It will shoot like shot, shot, shot. You get the picture. But just make sure you kill the white ones first. You don't have to worry about helping any of your other teammates. They should be able to do it on their own. If they can't, then you're going to struggle anyway. If you are really struggling, I know a lot of people that have only 3 people mount the turrets, and then they'll have their healer stand in the middle and just heal everyone up. But I don't really advise this. It's not how the fight's meant to be done. It's better to just learn how to do it properly, in my opinion. Right, so that's the first wave, and as soon as you finish that, you just have to do another wave, just a bit further up the path. Fortunately, this one is a little bit easier. Again, all 4 of you do it, and this time there are 4 droids in each wave, but they all spawn right in front of you, so every time you can see exactly what it is you have to kill. You don't have to worry about anything else. There's nothing in your peripheral vision. There's still the white ones, and you still need to kill those first, and then kill the smaller ones after. The large white ones, the ones that you have to kill first, take 3 shots to kill, and the smaller ones take 2 shots. So it's worth keeping that in consideration, because sometimes they don't die instantly when you shoot them either. But if you've shot them 3 times, then just move on to the next one. Don't wait and carry on shooting it until it dies. It will die. It's just a bit of a delay. There are these larger ones as well on the second wave, and they take 4 shots to kill. And again, they're just like the smaller melee ones, really. You don't really have to worry about them until you've killed the large white ones. Really, I would just avoid this instance. I can't really suggest that enough. It just sucks. This game looks okay at the moment because this is a successful go that we're doing, but you can't imagine the frustration you have wiping several times because one person can't get the hang of it. Sorry. It's not even like it doesn't seem to be on skill either whether people can do it. I know a lot of very skilled players who have struggled with it, and then other people who aren't so good, who have just got it first time, like me. I'm not that good, but I managed to find this pretty straightforward. But eventually everyone will get the hang of it, but you just have to be aware that you'll probably, especially if you're going there for the first time, you probably will wipe once or twice. It's just the nature of this instance, really. You just wipe a lot in this instance. There's a lot of frustration and a lot of repair bills. And it's not just from this first phase, let me assure you.
Survival defies numerous calculations. Your competitors did not make it this far.
Right, so that's it. That's the end of the turret phase. You do get loot. It does count as a boss. Right, so the second area is the puzzle area, and it can best be described by this. Yeah, there are a lot of mobs, gold mobs, which do huge knockbacks, and because of the narrow paths, you will fall off the edge a lot, because you'll just lose concentration at one point or another and fall off. There's nothing really you can really do about it. So basically all you've got to do are there are these consoles here. This is the second one, and when you activate one console, which they're in a natural order, you can see because the other ones will be blocked off. There's only one available at the beginning. When you use one console, the next one will become available because the shield guarding it will come down. Once you use it, you need to stay there until the next person's used theirs, and then until the person after that has used theirs, because you can also lock people off from theirs. And essentially all you've got to do is you've got to go from one console, activate that, activate the next one, and then that will allow you to activate the next one until you get to the fourth console. And then once the person's activated the fourth console, someone can run out and activate the final console, which is near the elevator, and then that means everyone is then free to run to the next stage. It's not too difficult, it's just difficult to explain really, but you'll get the idea. As soon as you walk in, it will become quite self-apparent how to work the consoles, and the fact that the person who activates it needs to stay by theirs. As you can see on the left there, one of our teammates was blocked off because they couldn't use theirs, but as soon as I use this console here, all those gates will go down and everyone will be able to run forward. The only thing to worry about really are the droids. The droids are irritating. It's the gold droids which will knock you off the edge, and they're the ones that patrol. And then you get boss mob droids as well, which guard a lot of the consoles, and they're a lot easier, ironically, because you can knock those off, so you don't have to worry about it too much. There are also these fire pits, but they don't do that much damage at all. Neither do the droids, actually. It's only the threat of being knocked off which makes this bit difficult. And it's much more preferable to be knocked back into the fire than it is to be knocked off the edge like that. But yeah, the droids that do the knockback, which are the gold ones, are the ones you have to worry about, because you can't knock those back. They're immune to that, and they knock you off, like you'll see happen multiple times. People got knocked off a countless amount of times when we were doing this, and it's completely normal for that to happen, because you only have to not be concentrating the one time for it to happen. So you use the first console, and then that'll take you down to this one, where if you've got a knockback, you can easily dispatch both of these droids, like so. And then this console actually opens that gate, so someone can use the console right over from where I'm standing. Once that one's activated, this door will open, which will allow you to activate the 4th console. As you can see, you can knock this guy off as well because he's a gold mob. And then once you activate this console, which is the 4th one, that red gate will open, which means that someone can run through, and you can all run through then actually. That means that you've passed that phase and you're on to the last boss, which actually is a boss, thankfully. Before you get to the last boss though, there is a little lore section. Just a disclaimer, I chose the light side option because I'd chosen the dark side option beforehand, and I wanted to see if it made any actual difference to the outcome if you had to fight these people or anything like that. It doesn't, unfortunately. Whether you choose light side or dark side option, it makes absolutely no difference to the fight. So the final boss, and the only actual boss in the instance, is the Annihilator random acronym droid. He's a very simple fight. Which makes the instance even more disappointing, really. All it is he'll it's a tank and spank, and he'll fire an AoE ability at people like so, which will do damage. As you can see, it looks like the fire will stay there, but it doesn't. So you should move out of it anyway, I suppose, but it's not going to make much difference. The only other real ability he does is he drops crosshairs on the floor, which you'll see in a second. And that does damage which stays there for a long period, so it's advisable to just move out of this straight away. Otherwise you'll die like one of our teammates does there. Whether your healer is typing in guild chat at the time or not, you'll probably still die whether if you just stand in the fire like that. And you've got a lot of area to move around, and for the tank to kite the boss, so there's no real reason to just sort of take fire from the crosshair. You should just move straight away and not stand around. But that's really all there is to this fight. The fight doesn't change up much from that. It looks impressive, and you know, God knows you've spent enough time and enough frustration actually getting to it. So it's a bit of a disappointment when you actually fight it and you realise that it's one of the easiest bosses in the game. But it doesn't have that much health either, so you should take it down pretty quickly. It doesn't hit very hard. The only thing that does damage is literally the AoE damage from the crosshair. So that's it, really. As I said at the beginning, I would just flat out avoid this instance, especially if you're near level 40 or 44, that sort of area. You can just sort of level up to the level 50 quickly. And that's that.